Okay, so I do see I'm showing up on YouTube and um, I do have chat here. All right, I like it. Um, and so I am going to bring this up. And I do have my Stellarium up and running too. So I don't know how many people may end up coming up, um, but I started roughly about 15 minutes ago. Imaging M31 using the Dwarf 3 smart telescope. So I want to try to bring up a graphic here. Um, just bear with me. And I'm going to use the C-star PC diagram that I made here. So I haven't updated this to show the Dwarf 3, but it's connected the same way. So the Dwarf 3 is connected to my home's Wi-Fi in station mode. My phone that I'm using is connected to my PC using USB-C, and, and I've got USB debug mode enabled on my smartphone. And that's critical to making this work so that you can use another free piece of software called Screen Copy, which mirrors um, what you have on your phone showing up on your PC. All right. So just kind of give you an understanding of how this is working. And to stream it, I'm using a free piece of software called um, OBS. All right. So let me bring up OBS really quick. And this is kind of crazy. I've got the chat here. No, I I may just go ahead and expand this out so you can get a better detail. Um, Before I went on YouTube for streaming, um, I I was explaining that here in Clovis, New Mexico, I have like a Bartle 5 skies. It's really not terrible. Um, with my fence that I have in the very back, it's a 7 foot tall fence. It blocks out a lot of light, but it's still possible for my neighbor's fences to allow light to get through. I'm going to hopefully work on that later. So I just think this is a pretty good image of Andromeda. And, we talk about the sea star. I've been using that um, really and truly for the, you know, a full year now and then some. And I've gotten a lot of great results with a lot of fun too. Compared to the Dwarf 3, I think you get a little bit better resolution on the C Star S50. Um, you do get mosaic mode, which gives you a wider view. But as you can see with the Dwarf 3, I get a full, nice wide field of view with it. And the Dwarf 3 supports EQ mode right out of the box. And there are some lot of good videos that will show how to set up and use EQ mode. Queeve the Lazy Geek and Guido both have great videos out there on that. So I won't really get into that. The Sea Star has come a long way with its software, and some good, some not so good, but they keep trying to improve, and the people with Dwarf Labs keep trying to improve their software. So, really and truly, in today's world, with the $500 price tag on either the Dwarf 3 or the S50, you've got options, you know. And you know what? This software is just going to continue to get better and better and better. What you can do with it. So the Dwarf 3, like the Sea Star, uses plate solving to make sure every frame is centered. It uses live stacking so that you get a better idea of um, what the object will look like, what kind of, and then from there you can kind of get an idea of your scene conditions. Okay, so that's also pretty good. So, um, and if you're new to the world of smart telescopes, there's quite a few of them out there to choose from. As I mentioned, the S50 and the Dwarf 3 come in around the same price point at $500. Okay. ZWO has an S50 that's they're working on getting out. You can pre-order it just like you can with the Dwarf 3. I mean, I pre-ordered the Dwarf 3 back in May or June, and I got it in November. Um, the S30, which will give you, I think, pretty uh, a good view similar to this without having to go into mosaic mode. Um, it's at 349. It doesn't come with a case, and I think it might have a small tripod it comes with, but it uses the same software that the S50 has. And so that's a cool option to maybe run both at the same time, just to kind of see and play with. I think the ZWO software for the planetarium is outstanding. I think the mosaic view for the S50 opens up a whole other world of options. I do think that ZWO will continue to improve the mosaic functions. I've heard rumor that they might start incorporating a schedule. I'd like to see a schedule put in there. That would save people a lot of time and effort. There is a schedule with the Dwarf 3, and I do believe there is a mosaic function with the Dwarf 3, although I haven't seen any evidence of that yet. I haven't messed with it. And let's be square on something. I am still learning the Dwarf 3 um, routine. And the other night, I actually did live stacking with the moon. And I'm going to try to bring that up here. And smart telescope. And, and let's see. Here we go. That's a pretty good moon. Um, the live stacking feature on the Dwarf 3 is quite simply, I think it does a fantastic job. It really does. That's a really a good amount of detail for a sensor that's much smaller than the Sea Star. So I was really impressed as I started seeing this image of the moon take place. So um, yeah. So here we are. We got 106 frames stacked, and I'm not going to stay live on this, but what I will probably do from this is I am recording as this is moving on, and I think once I'm done with imaging and get this thing processed, I'll create a video of this. Um, and I think people will get a good appreciation of or a better understanding of what the capabilities are with this Dwarf 3. I mean, honestly, Queeve, if you follow Queeve and understand that he lives in Tokyo, Japan, light pollution city, um, and he's able to pull out some really good images with the Dwarf 3, with the Sea Star, and that's really saying something, I think. If you um, uh, live near a park where that you can maybe have access to, it's well worth your while to take your smart telescope out or any imaging rig out to a park. Um, Preferably go with someone you know, someone that has your back, so to speak. But these smart telescopes, I'm truly impressed. Because you know you have the Ionis Vespera line of smart telescopes, considerably more expensive, but you also get some really great pictures if you can afford not only the smart telescope but the accessories that you got to buy. Then there's the Celestron Origin, which is based off the um, evolution mount that it's been around for a while. It's just a little bit better. And of course, you have that um, really fast Raza optics going for you. And I think um, that's a great way to go, but it comes with a price tag of about $4,000. Um, I think when you spend $500 on and you get images like this, it does pretty good. I'm going to pull up another image that I took with the Dwarf 3. Just bear with me here. And smart. And let's see, 40, 42 astronomy. And I'm going to show M42 and Running Man. This was taken with the Dwarf 3 and also M45. And I didn't really take too many frames with of M45, um, but I really loved the way this came out. Really, really happy with it. So I've got 118 frames, and again, you know, um, I'm controlling everything from inside the house. I'm at my, you know, computer room, making this video as well as just enjoying the warmth of inside my house. Um, but one thing for sure that I really love about the Dwarf 3, I love a lot of things about it, but you got more control over the camera, controls, exposure settings, gain settings. You do dark frames. Um, But I do think that also that the way that the ZWO does their dark frame calibration, it just can't be beat. You don't have to worry about it. It does all of this at the right at the beginning of your imaging. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Um, but it's just different schools of thought of how they went about this. Um, I think either way is very good if you want a smart telescope that takes all of the hassle out of imaging. The ZWO is the way to go. If you want a little bit more control and refinement that you can manage, the the Dwarf 3 is definitely the way to go. And I know I've got some friends of mine that I've known for a long time that have both. and they love what the Dwarf 3 can do for them. They're able to get to several different parks where they live, and they really enjoy it. Well, that's going to be about it for now on live. I hope I haven't bored you with anything on this. Feel free to make any comments or questions, and I will answer any comment and questions related to smart telescopes, whether that's the S50 or the Dwarf 3. Um, and sometimes I get comments that have nothing to do with any of this, and I reserve the right whether or not to answer those. All right, you guys take care. Have a wonderful Christmas and New Year's ahead, and clear skies.